Alright guys, it does rain in Spain. Look at the waves. Poor old trees out there as well, getting absolutely hammered. I'm gonna have a bit of a tidy up because I've been doing a lot of college stuff. I've got bits and pieces everywhere, so got notes because I've had lots of meetings with different people as well lately. So what's this? Oh yeah, don't talk about that. That's to do with something else. But yeah, it's becoming a bit of a junk shop. Got my water over there. My mic's on the floor. Got to tidy that up. Gonna have to move stuff around. I'm busy playing Railroad Empire 2 as well. But anyway, just thought I'd do a video. I keep thinking, shall I stop the channel? And then I'm thinking, you know what? I think I may actually have to just start being more open and honest on the channel. And it's not, when I say open and honest, it's not me being like, I'm trying to be like a political class or something else. I mean in the sense of, I'll just say it as I do, the unfiltered. Although there won't be much profanity for those that desire that type of stuff. It's more a case of a broader spectrum of conversations. So for example, the Zalinski Trump thing yesterday, I was all a bit confused why Macron, Starmer was there, and then Zalinski. I think Trump's overplayed his hand myself. And I'm going to explain it, but I'll explain it in a way that you've got to take this from an empathetic viewpoint. An empathetic viewpoint, if you don't know, is where you try and see it from the other people's perspectives. Other people, not individual, in people. So, for example, Zalinski may have a different viewpoint to Ukrainians, but I would never assume I know what Ukrainians are thinking or Zelensky's thinking. You've got to absorb the bits you can and think, does this sort of make sense? The whole point is you've got to try and be more open-minded to what may be going through other people's heads. You may be right, you may be wrong. So I look at Zalinski in this factor. Trump's been sort of bouncing around. He's going to stop the Ukraine war. He's going to charge Ukraine, 500 billion? I'd say 500 billion is probably a starting point, because once another nation's forced its way into your economy, try getting them out. Is the UK still in Zimbabwe? Answers on the postcard. The point is, I think a lot of the fruit from Marks and Spencer's from Zimbabwe, actually. Anyway, going off on a tangent. So the point being is, I look at it from what I would think Zelensky would be doing, and what I would think Trump would be doing, and what their motivations are. And like I said, I may be wrong, may be right. I'm just trying to interpret. Like Starmer being there, no idea. I don't understand why he's there. Macron, I sort of half get, but for me, it's for those I'm a bit what? But anyway, so I look at it from, so you had Starmer, you had Macron, then Zelensky comes in. There was obviously conversations going on prior to that broadcast they did. I get the feeling Zelensky made something on Fox afterwards, after he did an interview afterwards, and he mentioned about he was quite happy to sign the deal for the minerals, but he felt there was some other attachments to it. So I fully understand where he's coming from. He's probably wanting to know what the hell Trump's up to. So he sort of put on a stage in front of the media and pranced around like a pony, or a conquest almost. Depending on how you view things. I'll talk about something in a minute relating to that. So just park why, but the point is you've got to think other people don't think, not everybody thinks the same. So he may have felt like a prancing pony out there. He may have thought he was going there to sign a deal that would do something, and then other things occurred that we didn't see. People complain about his attire, but I believe he's had that whole attire the whole time the war's been on. Correct me if I'm wrong. Not the same clothes. I mean, he's obviously got more than one version of the same clothes. There's people saying he's a billionaire. I'm not sure if he is, and I'm not sure if he's not. The way the media is today, I don't trust yes or no. I'll be perfectly blunt. I have no idea. But I take the 500 billion piece where you've got Trump's coming into the office, and what I'm seeing is Trump sort of going, well, we want to be paid for what Biden gave you, right? And I put this in a different concept, which is easier to think about. So you're on a TV show. You're on a TV show, and you've just won a house, right? Just won a house. There's the keys. It's yours, signed. Da-da-da. There you go. You guys pay nothing. TV channel changes hands. New owner of the TV channel says, oh, that's our house. You're going to have to pay for it. You're going to have to go and get a mortgage. You must pay it straight away. You must do this. How would you feel if somebody did that to you? That, just to put that in perspective, they were promised this, and then the goalposts have changed with leadership. So I'm just asking what your thoughts are on that. The reason I bring up Starmer and Macron is they're playing a different tune. For me, what I'm seeing is Trump's trying to do one thing and they're trying to do another. So I look at Trump and he's working from probably a corporate mindset. So he wants to stop the war and make money, etc. So his mindset is, okay, we'll come in, we'll do mineral rights, we'll make cash, because I don't see why we need to help you for free. It's Europe's miles away. Blah, blah, blah. Not my problem. Not my problem, mate. And come in with that mindset that he doesn't care one way or the other. Now, this will upset some of the Americans. In World War II, when did America enter with force? Pearl Harbor. How long had Britain and others been fighting for? I'll leave that with you. And it's not a jab, by the way. It's just to say, this is global powers. The mentality. None of these people are your friends. None of them. So the reality is, he wants to work in the financial interests of America. He probably got no interest in putting troops on the ground. It's probably going to be more like getting oil from the ground, where you protect the oil sites and forget the neighborhoods and the towns. To hell with them. Could be that sort of mindset. I have no idea. I wasn't in the meeting. So it becomes financial for America. What's the problem with that? What's in it for Europe? Nothing. Zalinski may get some security, but that Fox interview said to me he suspected Trump was up to something else. So I can fully understand that. Being put on TV the way it was didn't work right. Running down what he was wearing doesn't go right. I'm not going to knock Trump from the rebuttals and stuff, what he was saying afterwards, and because I seen America go in there as a blunt instrument, and it's sort of backfired. Because I'm not being funny. If somebody come into my house and told me they were going to do this, that, and the other, you're instantly going to get your back up, and you'll get people saying, "No, he needs to be more diplomatic. He needs to do this." You're rubbing it in his face. But anyway. Now, European interest. The money train has stopped with the Ukraine war. So this is probably going to reignite that fire. You're suddenly going to see, I guess, a shift in the politics in Europe as it moves to try and create a defense mechanism and increase its soldiers or whatever, a political shift. And I think it's much bigger than Ukraine. This may be to try and combat what they're calling the rise of the far right. It's not a good situation to be in. Not a good situation at all. Because, I mean, as Starmer has already started locking down social media and stuff in the UK, that's the audacity to say about freedom of speech. I think this is a testing time. I think the next probably 6 weeks we'll see where the landscape moves, whether this sort of fizzles out or people start doubling down. But I want to emphasize, guys, because I know a lot of my American friends are can be quite pro-America. I fully get it. Being nationalistic, there's nothing wrong with it. But point on a lot of this stuff is just have the perspective of a bit of empathy to sort of sit back sometimes and analyse from different angles. The media play us all the time. They play with us like a cat with a ball. They're smashing it that way. And we are the ones that suffer. It's quite funny because I'll give you another funny one, which this is something from my own perspective. I'm finding in the UK there's a decline in quality, just generally quality. It doesn't matter if it's at work and the education level, the experience levels, the knowledge levels, or if it's just general quality of internet, state of the roads. There's a general decline. We've got a population where they complain about the ones at the top all the time, especially this socialist environment we're in. We should pay more, we should pay more. And a lot of the socialism expect that everything levels out. Here's a kicker on that. If you look at Zalinski and his childhood, I think he was when a lot of his family and stuff and his life around university lecturers, etc. Answers on the postcard. When you're like this, like Cuba and other places, you can be living next door to a doctor, you can live in next door to whatever. The problem is corruption. The problem is, what's your incentive to do more? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. The reason you go to the top here is because you work and you work hard for it. Why should the guy complaining at the bottom may or may not have a good intelligence level, maybe a case he didn't get an education, sit there and complain that you got everything on a silver platter, yet you may have spent 10 years learning your trade? And I say learning your trade because it doesn't matter if you're a carpenter, bricklayer, doctor, I was going to say politician, but that's unfair. Take politicians out, throw them to one side. Even a decent manager. You say that in a bad way. I'm a manager myself, so I'm allowed to say that because I see a lot of bad managers. But all these people have learned to do what they do. I don't agree that somebody with a low income could never reach that levels if they got the drive, ambition, and right mindset. When I left school, my parents didn't do much for us. I know. This is what I say, they've got to be a bit more open in the videos. And cross my arms, not because I'm being defensive, it's my fingers are freezing. My parents didn't give me any direction after school. They didn't give me much direction throughout my life, in the sense of go on to do this, or, well, even basics like brush your teeth in the morning and evening. Didn't really get much of that. So when I come out of school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. My father's viewpoint is you need to go and get a job. That was it. Get a job. Now, it took me a while to actually find what I like doing. I went in to a youth training scheme and I did security and fire alarm systems. Came out the side of that, got my qualifications, struggled to get a job because I was still too young, because car insurance until you're over 25, car insurance for a business is horrendous. So I struggled to get a job as an engineer. I went back and trained as a carpenter, did carpentry and joinery, did cabinet making, did furniture making, cabinet making, made pine furniture, did timber frame buildings, did things like exhibition work, so I did things like Jordan Racing Team, Honda Racing Team, Baby Bio, Rover launch, the Rover 200 launch I think it was, the Mini launch when that was taken over by BMW. I worked on all the stands and did all that sort of stuff. I channeled myself through life because there wasn't a straight path, because I wasn't given direction. So I fully understand that if your life feels crap, then you're only going to continue feeling crap unless you do something about it. So I completely disagree with this socialist thing, well, everybody's got more than me, so it's your fault, I should get more, which is often, I'll be perfectly blunt, a Labour voters mentality. I believe in outputs, in the sense of, if you're a doctor, you should be paid more than somebody who drives a truck, because I can qualify to drive a truck quite quickly. To be a doctor, it's about 10 years, and the risk is much higher of killing people. In my profession, I agree I should be paid more. Why? Because of my broad knowledge base, my ability to run lots of teams, lots of people, and responsible for millions of pounds and making sure that those millions of pounds actually work and get the best money for value for buildings, etc. So my whole concept, it doesn't matter where you are in life. Firstly, if you're the guy that's grumbling at the bottom, complaining that the world owes you a living, it's your mindset. If it's because you're a different colour, different race, different religion, it's your mindset. Is it because you're in a different country? It's often your mindset. Because I've always found that you can evolve things. I mean, setting a call center up in the Philippines wasn't expensive. And it may take somebody longer to get to that point if there were local incomes and stuff. But it's doable. So my viewpoint is, I'm tired of people whinging at others that they're doing better in life because somebody gave them a hand up. Nobody's giving me a hand up. It's just because you were born in the school. I wasn't born in the UK and went to school. Born in the UK and went to school. Let me spin that the other way. You live in a country where the education is poor, and you decide to educate yourself because maybe you've got access to the internet, maybe you've got access to a library, maybe you do things, reach out, manage to find a scholarship or create a scholarship or go above and beyond and do the near impossible because you're an entrepreneur and create the solutions rather than, hey, it's a problem. Everything's a problem. Life is full of problems. The whole concept of life is hard, it's tough. Nobody's going to give you that help up. Nobody's going to do you a favour. This is why it's quite funny when I help people, because I do it without reward, because I do it for the reason of helping others, nothing else. Why? Is it a selfless act? You know what? I don't even think about it, because my mindset has sort of evolved to that point where I'm not too concerned, what people think. I'm more concerned about the output. If I help somebody create an idea and it works, and I ain't worried. I mean, I've had a few people over the years steal stuff from me, ideas and concepts and even business deals. But do I hate them? No. They'll run aground at some point themselves, because there's certain parts in them that make them who they are. End of. People are people. Good, bad, and ugly. Good, bad, ugly. Attractive. Superficial. Take your pick. I think for me, if I was giving somebody advice leaving school now, is you probably don't know what you want to do. So look at people that are doing things you would like to do. So you may be, I mean, I'm not going to put people off being an artist, but it's a bit like photography. It's not an easy one to make a living from. But you can do those as side hustles. In the same way, you may find an enterprise or venture within your abilities. As an example, Alan, a friend of mine, is from Romania but lives up in Northampton. He makes leather goods. He makes belts, wallets and stuff, because he likes doing that type of stuff. And I think they've started making, him and his wife are making other stuff now. So he works as a facilities manager during the day, but at night he's doing his craft, he's on TikTok, doing other bits and pieces. That is something you could evolve to. So even if you're working in the warehouse at Amazon, it's not the be end and end all. You can still evolve into something else. You can still start a side hustle. You can still keep true to yourself and your hobbies, your interests, your favourite things, and develop that into something else. And the reason I bring this up myself is because I become full-on corporate. I was full-on corporate. I gave up on everything else. I just focused on making the money, which gave me a bit of a head start. To put in perspective, though we've got this house in the Philippines, this house in Spain that's pretty much nearly paid for, we also own property in the Philippines. I could sell up in Spain and go back to the Philippines with probably $250,000, which at my age, I can probably not need to work if I invested it. But the point being is, the Philippine stuff, I went out there and did it from virtually nothing. Spain, I've used the UK as leverage. I've looked at the opportunities, but I've worked so hard on it, and now I'm sort of reining it back a little bit to start just enjoying stuff, because we work too bloody hard. So having a goal to move forward is important, but don't lose yourself. So as you probably notice, we're getting a lot more vinyl up there. I don't know if you can see. We keep buying more vinyl lately. My son's now into it more. It's very likely we're going to Madrid this year, because one of his favourite groups is Weezer, and they're playing there with Iggy Pop and Alanis Morissette. We'll go out and do that. Starting to do more on the music stuff, because I love music. I have a music ear. I'm not saying I've got great music ear, because I've had nothing to somebody go, oh, how do you know that? But we're evolving stuff around music, starting to get into a bit more, starting to step back from the corporate piece while still trying to find ways to make money. Reality is, life's what you make it. if you sit there and moan that nobody gave you a step up in life, boo-hoo, tough on you. We all get a bashing in life. I was thinking the other day, I've pretty much got no family left. Because although I've still got a sister and brother, I don't talk to my sister. I find her an absolute nightmare. I just can't even bother with the conversation with her. Not particularly bothered about never seeing her again at all. Probably the opposite, actually. And it's not a life of regret or something. It's just I just don't find her a good person. And my other brother, he's got his own ways, his own world. I speak to him, but that's it. I mean, I've got no sort of family beyond that, because my father's family sort of fizzled out. I'm not even sure how many of them are still alive. And my mother's family sort of, there's like, I think there's a few aunts left and a couple of uncles that, I think it's because the aunts are difficult. The uncles sort of hide from, because like me, I can't be bothered with my sister. Well, with 3 sisters, or however many there is, it's going to be 10 times worse. So I don't really have any family beyond my brother I see now and again. So when you talk, people talk about mechanisms that have your back. I'm the one that's got other people's backs. There's nobody else behind me. There's nobody's propping me up. I've got my wife that pushes me for my health. There's my wife that's keep me in a positive mindset, in a positive space. But beyond my wife and kids and my wife's family, there's very little left. And I don't see that as a sad thing. I just see it as reality. And it's not like I fell out with everybody. It's just I fell out with my sister, and I just can't deal with the aunts. They're just problematic. I'm not getting into it. It's unfair on them because they're not here to defend themselves. But I just can't be bothered with the grief, the headaches, and some of the weird stuff that comes out between people that, when people gossip and it goes so far away from the reality, you're like, what? What are you talking about? It's one of those scenarios because obviously they listen to my sister. We're been through all this. You'll have to go through some of the older videos to actually see what I was talking about, because I've moved on. I'm not really interested anymore. I don't need those headaches in my life, and that's part of life. A lot of people say, be forgiving, be this, but you can forgive people, but it doesn't mean you have to forget. These sort of people, you could go out your way to be nice to them or whatever, and they would do it again. There's a person I know that does it all the time. He upsets a lot of people. Then he has a major falling out. Then he comes up like apologising. Me, I'm not interested. I get he's that way round, but I just don't need his aggravation. So it doesn't mean I'm going to slap him around or anything else. It just means, okay, I accept you're a bit of a twat. That's it. You're not going to change. Doesn't matter what I do, because there's 7 other people I know have all got the same issues. And bizarrely, none of us actually need to engage with you. It's you engaging with everybody else. And it's always around petty, stupid things. Anyway, that's enough on that. Matt, are you generally argumentative? It's an interesting thing, because I was looking at, like I say, I look at the Zalinski perspective, and I can see some of the way I would have reacted. It would be very similar, in the sense of somebody trying to push me around and try to put me out on TV. I probably wouldn't be as forgiving. I can understand where his mindset may be, but part of me is looking at other people's viewpoints. So I'd get that they're probably trying to screw me over, but you got to take the bigger picture. What's the output? What's the benefits? What's the downsides? What's the upsides? What's going to go wrong? What's going to go right? And if you do that with most things in your life, you can have the upper hand most of the time. But yeah, this is one of these videos where I just thought I want to do a chat rather than anything really structured. But a key thing, guys, I think I'm going to make some music. You know, I've got all this kit. You've probably seen how untidy my desk is, and I'm horrible when it comes to tardiness. My wife will tell you I start throwing stuff out, and I really need to tidy this place up. It's because I've got more and more stuff. The drum kit at the back was taking up a fair bit of space, because I was looking at moving the shelving, but there's a 3D printer sat there. Look at 3D printer that might be moving to that corner over there. And then I can put the shelves away, move the drum kit out of there. Happy days, a bit more space. But yeah, I think I'm going to set up with the podcast stuff, to be fair, because we've got this guy here. The only bit that's missing is the other person. Because people go, yeah, I'd love to listen to a podcast. I said, well, do you want to come on one? No. No, I don't. Yeah, it is funny when you have that, because you go, oh, well, let's do it. No, I'm not doing it. Okay. Well, maybe we'll have a podcast. Should I do a podcast where I just get rid of the video, or should I just be on the video and they're just talking in the background or dial in? Let me know your thoughts, because I'm interested in doing it, and I'm thinking I'm just going to take the channel completely broad sense, because quite simply I have to shut myself up sometimes with some of the stuff I say, and it's not because I'm anti this or racist that or whatever. It's more a case of we're in a weird world where we're seeing some biases, massive biases in the UK, particularly with the Labour Party at the minute. But I wouldn't say I'd let the Conservatives off scot-free either. Let's face it, they're politicians, but some of the stuff they're getting up to, I just find unacceptable. And then they've got the arrogance to sit there and say we've got freedom of speech and whatever. And even if you start looking at the DEI stuff and your USAID and how that links and all these things, you're going, Jesus, what the hell? I don't think the world's changed in the sense of the dirty politics. I think reality is that's always been there since the beginning of time. I think the problem we got now is we're trying to make problems where there aren't problems. But we'll leave that for another podcast. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go and play on this game. I'm going to play Railway Empire 2. Thanks for watching. I don't have a speech problem, by the way. I've got a blocked nose. I had this weird flu cold thing now for about 2 months. The weird thing is, I lost it, and then it came back within 2 days, because I think April passed it back to me. But anyway, have a great weekend. Thanks for watching.